just fucking lies everywhere. Let's see what Bernie had to say after his disastrous tweet yesterday.
Take a moment to address what's going on in Los Angeles right now. Let's be clear. Trump's deployment of the National Guard and Marines in California is not about the protests. It is not about ICE, and it's really not about immigration. It's about using extremely dubious legal authority to expand his never-ending grasp for more power and his effort to move this country toward authoritarianism. This is a president, as you all know, who has usurped the constitutional responsibilities of Congress. He has threatened to impeach judges who rule against his policies. He has and is suing media for coverage that criticizes him. He has extorted money from law firms that have represented his opponents, and he is withholding funds from universities for teaching courses he doesn't like. In terms of what's happening in Los Angeles, let us understand that in our federalist form of government, local, state, federal, it is the governor of a state who deploys the National Guard, not the President of the United States. Trump's argument for his deployment of the troops is absurd and laughable. Does anyone really believe that we are in the midst of a foreign invasion or a rebellion against the United States? That, believe it or not, is his legal argument. Let's take stock of what Trump has done here. He has conducted massive illegal raids. He has provoked a counter-response, and then he has called in the troops. That is how an authoritarian rules. In this unprecedented moment in modern American history, it is imperative that all of us, no matter what our political views may be, stand together against the president who has little respect for the rule of law or our Constitution.
I wish he would have just said this. I wish he just said this yesterday. Like, he got outflanked by Kamala, dude. If Kamala is outflanking you, you're cooked. You're totally and utterly cooked. This was my response to Bernie's initial tweet where he's like, Dr. King defeated racist government officials and ended segregation through disciplined, nonviolent resistance. Defeating Trumpism, oligarchy, and authoritarianism requires that same level of discipline. Violent protests are counterproductive and play right into Trump's playbook. This is liberalism through and through. Like, the notion, you don't ever have to hand it to the right, man. You don't ever have to capitulate to right-wing framing. When you even invoke violent protests, when you even mention that the protests are even a little bit violent, you are not actually reaching out to the reasonable moderates or something. You are simply giving more ammunition. You're simply giving more ammunition to the right at a time when they are looking for any reason to create a ridiculous and illegal response. I responded to him saying, you were literally there at the nonviolent protest that everyone considered to be violent and unpopular, so I have no idea what this statement does other than lean into the hysteria that gives Trump enough momentum to mobilize the Marines on U.S. soil illegally. Trump doesn't need Bernie Sanders' go-ahead to claim that the fucking protests are violent. But there is no reason to give him that at all. I plan to lead another nonviolent march tomorrow. This is the way that the media presented Martin Luther King's nonviolent protests. Because nonviolent and civil acts of disobedience, when met with police force, still look as though they are violent instances of chaos to the onlookers. Okay? It's always the police and their escalation of violence that ends up making things more chaotic. And I also followed up by doing this and showing that plenty of people were unfavorable to the entire fucking civil rights struggle, especially white respondents at in 1966, 85% of white people hated the demonstrations by black people. In 1966. Yes, I cover the cop shooting the dude directly in the groin. What does police brutality have to do with the looting that they're doing? What does the looting have to do with the actual fucking protests? Answer the question, bitch. Are you talking to me or are you talking to the other chatter? Are there gonna be fucking opportunists? Of course. Of course there are. What does that have to do with the protests? I do find it very funny that people will just be like, oh man, I was just about to fucking join in. I was just about to join in on these protests, but then I saw people looting and, can't do it anymore. Oh, I was just around the corner. I was driving up to the protest to join because I think it's unconscionable that people are just getting blackbagged and shipped overseas for no real reason, for no good reason whatsoever. But then I saw that they burned Waymos and it's like, well, can't do it. Oh, I was just about to go and protest side by side to defend my own fucking community. But then I saw that they're not waving American flags or there isn't a sufficient number of American flags. So I just had to turn the car around, I don't know how this happened, but somewhere along the line, the media and all of these institutions ended up successfully causing onlookers and people that are in the margins, people that are in the periphery, to genuinely place the interests of property over the interests of human fucking beings. But the reason why you even care about property damage is because of its impact on human beings to begin with. You're like, well, these are random innocent people. Like, they didn't deserve to have their storefront crashed into. They didn't deserve to have their shit stolen. Now they're going to incur a financial penalty for no reason. Right? That's the reason why you care about property damage. That's the reason why you should care about property damage. And it's so interesting that people literally take it one step further and they go, no, I only care about property damage. I don't give a fuck about humans. Like I said, the greatest example is from earlier today when that when the immigrant store owner was talking about how his storefront was broken into, and people that get mad at that would literally not even feel a moment of remorse if ICE had actually blackbagged that guy. It makes no fucking sense. What's worse for that family? Having the father ripped away from them and shipped off to a slave colony with no due process, or the fucking storefront being broken into, That's when libs hit you with the, well, two wrongs don't make a right. No, one is a much, much larger degree of wrong. It's like the same brain broken response from liberals to like Israel doing a genocide and then them hyper focusing on the fucking Houthis trying to present a militant response to said genocide, where they're like, well, the Houthis, they stopped ships from going through the Red Sea. They stopped commerce from flowing through the Red Sea. How dare they? It's like, okay, dude, Israel's doing a fucking genocide though. Like, what do you mean? Like, one is a significantly larger evil that warrants an immediate response.